For these questions, we're going to write the sum as a proper fraction. So remember, a sum is just the answer to an addition problem, and a proper fraction is a fraction that's numerator is a smaller number than the denominator. Proper fractions represent a value of less than 1 whole. Before we add these fractions, I want us to think about adding fractions. Here I have 2 different pizzas. One's cut into ninths and one is cut into fourths. So let's say we ate 2 of these slices. So we ate that one and that one. We ate 2/9 of that pizza. But then a little bit later we were still hungry, so we came back and got one of these slices. This is a bigger slice. This is 1/4 of the pizza. Well, if you wanted to add up how much pizza you ate in all, you would need to add 2/9 and 1/4. When you go to add those, people want to always do it this way. They want to add the numerators and then add the denominators. But if you do that, what you end up saying is that you've eaten 3 slices, which you did eat 3 slices, but remember the denominator means how many slices are in 1 whole. So if you write 313, it's like having a pizza that has 13 slices and eating 3 of the little tiny slices. And that's not at all what you really ate. So when you're adding fractions, you can only add fractions if they have common denominators. So if you would have eaten 2/9 and then later you came back and ate another one of these pieces, well then you could have added 1/9 to that and it would have been 3/9. So the rules about adding fractions are, when you add fractions, they need to have common denominators first, but then the most important rule is that when you add them, you only add the numerator. The denominator doesn't change because the denominator represents the number of pieces in 1 whole, and that shouldn't change. So if we look at our examples, we can see that all of these have common denominators. So when we go to add them, we're going to leave the denominator alone and just add the numerators. So if you had 3/8 and 1/8 more, you've had 4/8. 3/4 and 2/4 makes 5/4. But here we run into a problem because the directions say write it as a proper fraction. And 5/4 is not proper because 5 is bigger than 4. So all we need to do is do the division and write it as a proper fraction or a mixed number. So 5 divided by 4 is 1 whole, remainder 1. So we're going to write it as 1 whole and 1/4 more. So 5/4 and 1/4 are equivalent. They mean the same thing, but the directions say to write it in a proper format, and this would be a proper way. So let's do number 3. Here we have 7/8 and 2/8, so we have 9/8. Well, that's improper, and the directions say to write it as a proper fraction. So I just need to do the division to figure out the mixed number that goes with it, so it will have a proper fraction. So my whole number is going to be 1, and I'm going to have a remainder of 1. So 9/8 in a proper format would be 1 and 1/8. And we'll do one more together. We have the denominator is going to stay the same, and we have 3 plus 5, which is 8. So 8/6. That's improper though, so we need to make it proper by doing the division. So we would have 1 whole, remainder 2. So our answer would be 1 and 2/6. All right, you try the rest on your own, and if you need help, you can come back and rewatch the video. Good luck!